Well, it didn't go very well. So my sleeping pattern doesn't really work out for like streams that start at like midnight and stuff for me. So we'll see how I'm feeling again. My sleeping pattern might be a bit better tonight than it was last night, but we'll have to see. Guys, let's go into the game and introduce these players. The top left-hand side, we're going to be kicking things off with the red Terran player from Mouse Sports. Still feels so weird to say that because like I don't even think of like Mouse Sports as a StarCraft team anymore. You know, it's been so long. I mean, he's the only player left on the team, has been for a long time. It is going to be to the top left-hand side. It is HeroMarine. To the bottom right, our blue Terran player from Cascade is going to be Cass. Looking to see what he can get up to in this best of 5. See if he can qualify to play on Saturday in the final bracket, which will be, I believe, like a double elimination best of 5 bracket to determine who goes to DreamHack Montreal. What happened to TLO versus Braddock? Turns out we got into the lobby, and then turns out Base Trade also wanted to stream that game, so we of course gave Base Trade the priority. So then we went to find another game, which turned out to be HeroMarine versus Cass, which is what we're going to be casting right now. So just setting up into this, looking to see how things are going to go. Reapers on the way for both players to begin with, and an expansion on the way down from both too. Actually, very similar builds from both players right at the start of the game. They have very similar gas. It looks as though Cass is just slightly later on the gas or something. So, anyways, we set up into this. We're just going to be seeing the Ripper coming out from HeroMarine. So we are going to set up into kind of Ripper Expand on Ripper Expand here in the TvT. Ooh, Ripper does get a first shot there from Cass. He gets blown in the sky though. And HeroMarine is busy using his shots on an SCV though, which means that he's actually going to have to be a little bit cautious here. And Cass will start regenerating with his Reaper. SCV moving forwards. There's going to be a little bit of a weird dance right now. Both players went into reactor after the Reaper, which means it's very kind of have to be very cautious about where you kind of commit to, kind of taking fights and so on. Means you don't have any other units for a while here. As we'll actually see, HeroMarine will have his natural command center slightly delayed right at the start of this game. So little mistakes at the start of this here. And HeroMarine can't fight still. He needs to regenerate to full health on his Reaper. He can't just keep going back in like this, because he's the one that's at a disadvantage on less health. So he's again trying to do this. He knows he's got his Hellion on the way, so I guess he just wants to try and get things building ASAP. And he will chase that Reaper away, and it goes down. So the Reaper falls, and we'll see a global command coming up on the command center here. Start on the way from both Tech Lab onto this factory, and the same from Cass. Again, both players just mirroring each other up until now, more or less. Cass was the one in the end who lost his Reaper. As we see, 2 Marines and a Hellion ready to greet the Reaper Hellion out of HeroMarine though. They'll try and poke up the edge here, but Cass well spread means he won't get too much done. And we will see a turnaround just to fight against that Hellion momentarily. A little bit of a trade there from both players, but nothing really too important. So just going to be seeing the Cyclone on the way from both. It's actually going to be a medevac out of HeroMarine, so HeroMarine feeling maybe a little bit more confident to actually be aggressive here with these few Marines, whereas the Viking from Cass is very suggestive that he just wants to sit back and defend. 2 more Reapers is very weird. That's a lot of gas input. Being input into kind of 2 units which are not really super effective at this sort of stage of the game. Intrigued to see what he actually wants to do with these Reapers, because it's very weird to see them just being added on into the army, like as he's done just now. So it's going to be seeing this Cyclone coming out as well. Cass starts up the 3rd CC. I'm still intrigued by these 2 Reapers. We're going to see the Hellion, the Reaper, and the Cyclone just going to be moving forwards. I'm just going to be sure, just trading. He gets a Reaper for a Reaper, or Reaper for a Hellion so far. There's that Marine drop coming across now though, and well, Cyclone locked on there by Cass, but nice little pickup maneuver to get the Cyclone off of the lock on, and this is going to be seeing both players sort of trying to commit up this ramp and trying to take a little bit of a fight. Cyclone gets lifted up once again. And again, moving forwards here, see what I can lock onto. Nothing just yet. Locks onto a Hellion towards the SCV towards the front. Looks like that Viking is not going to go down just yet. We'll probably want to land now as the Cyclone locks on again. Cyclone on Cyclone action! Wow, I can't believe HeroMarine Cyclone actually wins that fight in the end. It was a really cute little bit of micro, and in the end he darts in, locks on when he knows his opponent's Cyclone is on cooldown. And that's going to bring him the kill. So really nice stuff so far as we set up into game number 1. After the early stages, we're just basically heading in towards the mid game with both players kind of on par. HeroMarine's a few workers ahead. Cass has a slightly faster 3rd base, so slight differences, but maybe HeroMarine for slight edge, but that's about it. I mean, great game so far. Really, really kind of exciting back and forth stuff and aggression on both sides, and lots of cute little bits of micro to set us up early. Now, Cass is going to go into 2 more racks before HeroMarine, which will mean he hits his extra production just a little bit sooner. But Cass is not putting his racks onto a tech lab, which means he's going to be much later on his stim pack. So, again, slight differences, different choices in the way both players will want to play things out here. As you're going to see this Cyclone just coming out in towards the center of the map. Just going to keep on moving forwards and just wants to try and see what is going to be going on. Cyclone just sat up the ramp, and we're just going to be seeing the 3rd CC landing down in location now from Cass. So 3rd CC comes down, lands here, and you just have a couple of Vikings just set out towards the front from Cass, and yeah, just a couple of Vikings kind of sat at the front. Yeah, you know, not really much else to say. Kind of a couple of Marines just split up on either side of the map. Just going to be seeing again the 3rd CC mining. Turning into a fairly even game. We're going to see Cass with the double upgrades. So he's actually going to go, I say double upgrades in the sense of combat shields and stim. So he's actually going to hit kind of both those upgrades at the same time, which might give him a little bit of a timing. But I do feel quite concerned that HeroMarine already has +1/+1 started, and Cass is only just now starting +1. So a little bit of an interesting scenario, as we're going to see the single Marine from HeroMarine just splitting up another Marine towards the center, and one off over to the right hand side as well. So Marines just split up. Maybe seen a few Vikings just collecting together as well from HeroMarine. So a few Vikings collecting, and again, not really. It's kind of a weird one because it's just not really a lot going on here. And as we see this group of units out of Cass just sitting back. Same thing for HeroMarine. He's still at 8 workers ahead as HeroMarine. Army supplies even, so HeroMarine just with that slight advantage still in the game. And this sort of transition, you know, it sort of shows in other ways too. I mean, you see the +1 armor for HeroMarine, but not for Cass. That's one of the ways in which it's showing. You know, just, you know, you can see it and identify it in a few different ways. So, just going to be seeing armory about halfway done here from HeroMarine, and, well, Vikings are just going to move out onto the map from HeroMarine. Is that a bit of a difference as well? 6-2 Vikings. So, yeah, HeroMarine definitely controls the air right now. I think air control very early in the game in the TvT is always very important, and throughout the game as well. If you're the player of a group of Vikings flying around, able to come in and kind of snipe down one or two of your opponent's medevacs, it's very kind of threatening, because when in any sort of engagement, you're the player who's actually still got the extra little bit of vision. You're going to force scans at your opponent. You can pick off medevacs. I do like the Vikings in the TvT. It's so good at stopping drops and so on as well, of course. It's always something to keep in mind, as we'll see. Marine tank from Cass has a lot of tanks and medevacs moving out onto the map here. 6 in total, I believe. So Cass feels as though he's got the opportunity to start moving onto the map now as well. I mean, he's already behind an armor upgrade. Look at that 2-2 upgrade. It's already starting from HeroMarine. That's going to put him into a huge lead with 2-2. It's going to be a time in which he's definitely going to try and hit in the relatively near future, as we see. Well, Cass moving forwards. He doesn't have HeroMarine combat shields just yet. But there's them Vikings coming in. Already a medevac and a tank going down to them Vikings. And that's a big loss already, as we're going to see. A couple more medevacs just loading up tanks. We're going to see Vikings coming forwards again. He'll kill off a Viking this time. Get another medevac low. Things not looking great right now for Cass out on the map. He's trying to make something happen, but it's just not happening. He's sort of just stuck over here taking damage. So now HeroMarine hits his combat shields. He feels as though he can give chase. He boosts his medevacs forwards. Unloads. Not really the best of unloads. I mean, he wasn't actually in range of the big clump of Marines. As we're just going to be seeing these units coming back home from HeroMarine, and I still really like HeroMarine's position in this. We see 2-2 upgrades are, well, over halfway done now, as we're going to be seeing another medevac coming over there and just lifting up another tank or so. So another couple of tanks going to get lifted up, and yeah, just going to move out onto the map. So we do see here, HeroMarine just sort of turning the aggression around. It was Cass being aggressive before, now HeroMarine moves forwards, and, well, Vikings again going to be very important in this. Great spread from HeroMarine. That's a game-winning spread even. I mean, you look at that, it's just so different compared to what we saw from Cass. And wow, HeroMarine completely crushes this fight. Another tank and medevac go down at the very end to the Vikings. And that is just going to be HeroMarine taking a very one-sided battle here out on the map. And looks to be in a very good position now in game number 1. Great fight. I mean, it's one of those situations where both of them decided they wanted to fight there, but HeroMarine was just in such a better concave. Might have even just had more units in position as well. Either way, whatever he did, it was completely crushing. You can see now he has way too much. Cass can't defend this. GG. HeroMarine takes game number 1. He's going to be moving on through this series because it is Dasan Station for game number 2. To the bottom right hand side, our red Terran player from Mouse Esports is going to be, or Mouse Sports is going to be HeroMarine. And to the top left side, our blue Terran player from Cascade. Let's hear some love for Cass. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today and joining us for the WCS qualifiers. If you do enjoy the show, don't forget the follow button, the subscribe button, the donate button, yada yada yada. All of those buttons you can press to help support the stream. Check us out in the future. Help me to continue being a full-time streamer and bringing you guys this sort of action on a very regular basis. So please do consider pushing those buttons as we set up here into game 2 of the best of 5 between Cass and HeroMarine. We're going to be seeing a refinery coming down just to the south. And yeah, I mean, just sort of double refinery from both to start things off. Not really a surprise. I think anyone trying to expand early on this map in TvT is just, well, maybe he hasn't looked at the map. You know. Anyways, I'm just going to be seeing this racks finishing up. We're going to see the command center will start up an orbital. I'm just going to be seeing a marine from both. So far mirrored builds. I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities. I mean, fast tank pushers are going to be very powerful in this map. That sort of thing. Lots of potential. So see how this goes as we get set up, ready to go shortly, hopefully, and see some action happening. One marine into reactor from both, so mirrored builds so far in this game, which is good. And it's very interesting that this is obviously the build that they both choose, that they both feel as though this is the build to play in this match, which is intriguing, because I feel as though fast reactor generally leaves you very vulnerable to a lot of early aggression. Tech Lab immediately on the factory from both as well. Wow, they are not messing around. I wonder if they do just both go for a very fast tank push. I mean, it's very possible, right? It's definitely not out of the question, as we're going to be seeing the starport just being added on. So starport just on the way up. Factory is going to finish up. Tech Lab building there. I'm going to see his tank on the way from both. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, honestly, I did this build in a TvT the other day. I played against Penguin in a best of 5 random versus random show match. And I actually did this build because I just figured, like, hey, if I just go like Marine Tank Viking or Marine Tank Medivac into a Viking, what are they going to do to stop it? You know, there's very little which just sort of hard counters this, and with such a short rush distance, it's so powerful. It'll be very weird to see that this is mirrored builds, and the fact that this can kind of go any which way. HeroMarine is actually starting to move out onto the map with an SCV now, looking to see if you can spot anything. I'm just gonna find a few marines starting to come across the map. Nice turnaround though, pulling that SCV away nice and quickly. Does not want to let it be caught too off guard, as we see. Random SCV just pulling back. We're gonna see this factory, or tank, sorry, in the medevac just coming across as well. I'm just gonna be seeing it unloading here in a moment or two. Takes down that SCV without too much of an issue. So tank actually in the end, it's going to be Cassie ends up being the aggressor. Oh, he takes a shot on his tank though. And again, the depot's just giving him the vision, right? So that's really painful. Cass takes a lot of damage on his first tank, which really slows him down. We can see a bit of a difference now. We actually see HeroMarine's going across the map with a drop. And Cass has gone into, so HeroMarine's gone to do some damage over here. He's actually picked up a little bit of damage, or a few units already. You can see him just lifting it back and away. Another difference is there's a reactor now on this starport, whereas on the other side of the map, the reactor is still on the barracks until just about now, where the starport's actually going to miss it. No, fixes it in time. Nice little attack here by HeroMarine. Actually puts himself into the lead by killing 5 workers with this, and so it's going to be seeing these kind of these few Marines just kind of moving down the right hand side. So just going to be seeing a Viking will land here from HeroMarine. I think he recognizes that he's not going to have the control of the skies here initially, because he didn't go into his Vikings straight away. Yeah, medevac please. Why? Well, you just sat over there. Now these Marines are a little bit stranded. I mean, very hard for them to get back in here with these rocks being down. So going to see 3 Vikings against 4. Initially coming forwards here, this is not a bad trade. Ooh, nice control by HeroMarine. He actually picks off 1, doesn't lose 1 yet. So this isn't so bad for him just now. As you can see, the Marines coming forwards will forward those Vikings away, so you can actually come in and repair up each of these Vikings right now. So he'll come in and start repairing these up with all of these SCVs. So SCVs starting to repair. I mean, we see a continued push from Cass towards the front. HeroMarine is expanding in the back, however. So expansion coming up. So we're seeing big differences from both players here. I mean, HeroMarine actually has repaired up Vikings 5 against 4 now. So he'll come in and start one-shotting these. And oh man, that's a very one-sided affair. And now it's going to be HeroMarine who has all of the vision. And you can just see he's going to unsiege his tanks, move them forwards into range of his opponent. And this is going to be very deadly because Cass did not begin to unsiege in time. And he's just going to get the latter shots off in the tank wars. And so HeroMarine takes down multiple tanks just like that. Loses very little here. And all of a sudden HeroMarine finds himself up a base, 10 workers ahead in an army. Got the air control on his side as well. HeroMarine has played this out very, very well so far. As we see him immediately begin to counterattack across the map. He is missing Marines, which is something that Cass still does have in his advantage. We're just going to be seeing a tank shot here. We'll do a lot. No. HeroMarine unsieges and pulls back. HeroMarine just playing this cautiously, playing this safe. Another tank joined up with a medevac here. A few SCVs are going to pull in and just start to repair a few of these Vikings. So a few Vikings just getting repaired. And just see, again, SCVs just going around each of these Vikings, just continuing to repair them up. And I mean, may as well. I mean, obviously, the more you can repair, the better. And I love what HeroMarine's done now. It's on 2 medevacs, which means you can move across the map with mobility to go and try and drop and harass and whatever else as well. And without the Viking control, without the sky control, it's almost impossible to stop this because 5 Vikings flying to 3. Oh no! Cass is going to lose a full medevac of units. Fortunately, not the one with the tank inside. He's going to GG out anyways. I mean, he's already in a bad position. So let's jump in game and let's see what happens as we go to the top right hand side of the map to start things off. From Mouse Sports, our red Terran player is HeroMarine. To the bottom left, from Cascade, the blue Terran, it is Cass. Again, guys, how is everybody feeling tonight? I hope we're all doing well. Hope we're all enjoying the game so far. Again, nice to have a nice double day of streaming. You know, the W Star Masters start us off today into the WCS qualifiers later. Really nice to have that double setup of streams. It was great. We had a really good stream earlier in the W Star Masters actually. It was very enjoyable. So, yeah, it's cool. SCV from HeroMarine is going to be coming down and starting to scout. This is what we're following right now, as you can see. I feel as though both players here are going to go Reaper Expand, but you can see Cass has more gas, which I feel like I've said this so much lately. It's just going to be that gas versus Reaper Expand. I'm sick of explaining it, like, it's become such a common thing, common occurrence, that I think you guys sort of understand it now anyways, where you basically get the gas first, Reaper Expand, slightly later Expand, but guess what, boom, you've got more gas, so you can get the factory a bit faster afterwards. Both players will find their opponents in the second location they scout, as they are cross spawns. Actually, a reactor expand out of HeroMarine, so going to bypass that Reaper. I'm just going to go straight into a couple of Marines here fairly early in this game. No real surprises. Man, my water tastes funny. I think I had like peach juice or something in this glass earlier, and I just filled a glass of water. I just like rinsed it out, but it definitely tastes funny. It tastes weird. Blah. Blah. Yucky. Alright, so we're going to have a Reaper just sort of nearby from Cass, just sort of sat around, just atop of this ramp. Just having a little bit of think as to what I might get up to. I'm just going to see HeroMarine gun into the double Reaper after the reactor. This build's interesting because it actually delays in TvT, it delays the factory by so much. Like, by a lot, it really does. I mean, you go into a reactor first, which is already 50 gas. Now that puts you up even with your opponent in terms of gas spent, right? But then you go double Reaper, which is 100 gas. That's immediately the cost of your factory. Just gone, disappeared. And you didn't go gas first either, so it's not like you had a lot of gas to work with. So, factory much later, and hence the starport will be much later here as well from HeroMarine. He's actually going to go into 4 Reapers. Wow, so he's going to go into a lot of Reapers here early on. We see the factory going to be finishing up very soon. This is just going to be seeing the factory lifting. Just going to get ready to switch onto that reactor. So are we going to see like Reaper Hellion here? Like a really weird Reaper Hellion? It looks like it. Cat's going to go into a Liberator to start things off. He also actually reacted out a couple of Hellions of his own. So a couple of Hellions of his own starting to move out onto the map. One of them is going to run into 2 Reapers. The Reapers need to split up to kind of minimize the splash damage there. I don't want to stand in a line. There's going to be a single Hellion kill. And ooh, nice little bit of micro pulling his damaged Reaper back. And he saves it. 2 more Reapers coming in. Great micro by HeroMarine. He's been all on point all game long so far. He really has been. As we see this tech lab building up a siege tank. We can see a couple more Marines popping out soon as well. And that Liberator is still on the way. But I mean, he's going to run into like, well actually if I deliberate on the way from HeroMarine, so maybe HeroMarine won't have very much to do with this. And still going to be putting on a lot of pressure with kind of this Reaper Hellion force. It's very interesting, very unique as we see 4 Reapers and the Hellions coming in now into the natural expansion. 2 workers going down, there's a 3rd. And well, honestly, we could probably see moving up this ramp if you'd like to. There's a siege tank which will change things slightly. And he's going to start coming down this ramp. Reaper goes down. HeroMarine wants to pull that damaged Reaper to the back. Exactly what he does. Oh no, the siege tank! He's on top of the siege tank, which means he can't be in range to do the, get any shots off. And well, the siege tank does get 1 or 2 shots off, and those couple of shots do change things up. They do enough damage to make the rest of the units here from HeroMarine low health. As you see, HeroMarine still sending 2 more Hellions across the map. His Liberator is I don't know where his Liberator is. There it is, moving out. Liberator is moving out. We see another Liberator coming up the map. Of course, that one's from Cass. And there's another one. So Cass has 2 Liberators. HeroMarine has 1. 3 Hellions now moving forward to see what they can do. But another tank about to pop out from Cass should be safe at the front. As this Liberator sieges up 3 kills. And, well, HeroMarine just doesn't have anti-air just yet. It's as simple as that. He really just does not have any anti-air right now. He has his own Liberator. But again, I mean, he's literally just going to come in here with this. Oh, I love this, though. The tank going to go down. That's really cute because it actually allows the Hellions now to maybe run by and get some more damage done. He's going to start fighting here. There's the Viking coming out. You're going to see the Liberator just going to suicide forward, siege up on this position to help him fight against these few units. Marines get past it though, as we'll see the Liberator falls. And well, it's still pretty cute as you see this Liberator, 8 kills in total, finally going down. And another Liberator in the main base though is picking up more kills as well. 7 kills over here, so HeroMarine sits now 35 workers apiece with Cass. And the game is surprisingly going to stabilize, as we see actually HeroMarine going into a Cloak Banshee play, something which I believe Cass should have seen now with this Liberator, so he knows this, he sees this, should be able to deflect it without too much damage being taken. And we're just going to be seeing the Liberator continuing to just move around here, having a little bit of a think as to where I might get some more damage done in the near future. Just even if sieges up here, well, maybe not right underneath those 2 Marines. Might not be exactly how you wanted to do things. But yeah, I mean, there's potential there. Does HeroMarine have a 3rd CC? Okay, they both do. So both players have actually come out of this in a very similar position. 42 workers apiece. Army supplies are very similar. Both players have 3rd bases. HeroMarine feeling a little bit more confident to take his already starting to move out. Actually decides to take the upper 3rd base. I find that surprising because I always feel as though this kind of high ground location up here from HeroMarine, for HeroMarine. Obviously, this is the base Cass is going to take too with how his CC's positioned. I just feel that high ground location is very punishable by siege tanks dropping down, etc. So I feel this base is actually a little bit safer to take, but well, nonetheless. I mean, in a way, if you defend this base, though, you do stop drops in towards your main, which can be a bit of an added bonus. Or you have a better chance of stopping drops towards your main base, you know. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. I mean, there's always kind of positives and negatives to every base. And that's, you know, what makes StarCraft in these maps so interesting, right? As you can see, Marines, a couple of tanks moving out onto the map. So, a few units just moving out onto the map, and Cass will just be, well, setting up, see what's going to be happening. So, as we're going to see this couple of Hellions just sat to the north side. We're going to be seeing a couple of Vikings being added on as well now from HeroMarine. So a couple of Vikings being added on. Again, there's that 3rd base from Cass just down here. And we're going to see the Banshee from HeroMarine gets taken down immediately. HeroMarine in a huge worker lead, but probably because of this Banshee getting 12 kills. Jesus Christ, 40. Today is just not a good day for me. I whatever it is, I'm just no, it's not even casting bad, I'm just observing horrifically. You're going to see HeroMarine then with a worker advantage just needs to kind of hold on for a while. That's one of the main pieces to try and do. He's got some good tank shots going down here actually. He's got Marines starting to fight on it as well. SCV's being pulled. He's going to fight this. The Vikings take down the medevac. Cass has lost so much. His money is floating so high. And he is down now in army. He is down heavily in workers. And HeroMarine is going to look to take a 3-0 right here. I mean, he is in a very good position to do that. Take a 3-0, move through to play Saturday's DreamHack Montreal qualifier. This is, well, I mean, this is sort of what it comes to, really. I mean, it's going to see a factory being put down here from HeroMarine. We're going to see a few extra racks being added on. I'm just going to be seeing just HeroMarine setting up. I mean, Castle do the same back at home. There's maybe not as much of a disparity as I initially said, but I mean, it kind of is, right? I mean, +1/+1 finished. +2/+2 about to start from HeroMarine. He's 17 workers in the lead. He's actually down a little bit in army supply right now, but I mean, he just has a solid position to kind of push forward from at this point, as we're going to see this couple of medevacs and tanks going to come in, actually going to find themselves a depot kill and an SCV there. And this is the thing, this high ground, I mean, we're not going to actually really see the high ground come into play much here because Cass is in position, but again, the high ground can be very annoying to kind of fight into. Against only 2 tanks, it's okay. Against like 4 or 5 tanks, if they siege up there, boom, it's very difficult. That's at the same time, though, it's then hard for Marines to push down into this location too, but it does stop the mining, and that's what's important, I think, as we have. Those 2 tanks going to relocate themselves just towards the center of the map now. So they relocate to themselves towards the center. We see an SCV also going down in the center too. And we're going to see 2 upgrades just coming in from HeroMarine. So set up into his +2/+2. And yeah, I mean, combat shields is also on the way. Another medevac coming out. These tanks still finding damage wherever possible. How many kills do they have? Didn't click on it in time. Yeah, I mean, just continue to see this sort of happening. We see a few Vikings sort of up to the top side. And HeroMarine just pulling back towards the upper right. So HeroMarine just pulling back a little bit. We're going to see these couple of medevacs just unloading here, most likely. Maybe. But yes, why would they unload here? I mean, they might go and unload somewhere else, but unloading there is a little bit useless as HeroMarine starts to push out onto the map. Upgrades still in his advantage, just by +1 armor. His bigger timing window will come when he hits 2-2 over 1-1, which will be in about a minute and a half. About, well, not even a minute and a half, just 1 minute away. So he's getting to a position where if he can get himself in a spot, into a good spot, he'll be ready to take advantage and really kind of seize the opportunity that those upgrades are going to be given him here. So, let's see these Marines, Vikings, tanks, medevacs moving down, and HeroMarine just going to find himself into a position. He's just going to come straight in here. The tank's already unloaded from him, so he gets the first shots off, and well, he's in a little bit of an awkward spot down on the low ground. His tanks are going to hold the majority of this location, though the Marines try and come back in. Some of the tanks being lifted, and he tries to back away. HeroMarine, I think, taking a big victory. Just needs to kind of reinforce this army as well. Again, took a fight before the 2-2, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, he saw an opportunity and he took it. He saw how, you know, his opponent being out of position, recognized that, took the opportunity, and made use of it. So, I'm going to see these Marines, medevacs, tanks, just obviously going to wait for reinforcements, and then he can try and find another, you know, fight like he just found, another opportunity like that to try and just put himself into a position where he maybe ends this game. And the few units from Cass just turning around. I'm going to see a Marine over here is going to deny the 4th base from HeroMarine momentarily. But not for too long at all. I mean, it's again one of these series where HeroMarine's just been the dominant player throughout, and he's going to look to take another fight right now to just confirm that domination. GG for Cass. HeroMarine will advance to play it on Saturday with a 3-0 over Cass. Again, I don't think there's many of